What's up, dudes? My name is Nick. Welcome back to another one of my first impression thoughts, videos, whatever these are called, reaction reviews, where we take a look at the debut song from a brand new JYPE girl group. I believe they are. Maybe I'm just wrong and I'm making myself look stupid, but the group's called Itzy. The debut song is Dalla Dalla. And if this, I think that this is probably going to be a group that ends up being super big once again, and I don't even know. I'm kind of excited and a little interested. You know, new groups are always fun and exciting because you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's going to be something super dramatic, super crazy and different. Sometimes it's sort of like just run-of-the-mill K-pop debut stuff. But, you know, the only way to find out is to listen to the song, watch the music video, and give you guys my thoughts on it, whether I like it or not. So that's what we do, or that's what I'm going to do, like I do in all my videos here. If you want more stuff like that, then subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be trying, because I haven't been very consistent this year so far, to upload more videos more consistently, do better in that regard. So with all that being said, let's get this song started and see what these girls are all about. It'd be pretty great if they were guys, but they're not. I know they're not. Just like, I get all the details wrong about this group. That'd have been hilarious. Very embarrassing too. I don't even understand that scene, to be honest, but oh, look at that top. That's interesting. Remember when I was like, this might be something interesting and different, or it might be just like a run-of-the-mill K-pop debut? Definitely not a, what I would say a run-of-the-mill K-pop debut, for sure. Ooh, I liked it. Okay, I like this. This is really good. This is very, very, very enjoyable. Man, I don't even, like, I like it. I don't know how I don't know what, like, exactly, like, firm thoughts on, like, what I like, but I love this chorus. I love this part of the song, though. I will say that. That, plus some of the, you know, the dance moves and stuff are just killer. Like, I really do like the chorus aspect of the song is really good for me. Something I personally really enjoy. It just reminds me of what's this? I don't know what the Twice song is. I can't remember what the name of the Twice song is. That just moment, that little, you know, sequence there kind of just reminded me of a similar sounding sort of element in a part of a Twice song. Well, that was definitely lots of fun. Thank you Kia for sponsoring that music video, providing the cars in it. That's great. Now they just let them dance on top of the roofs of some Kia Souls. I don't know what they're called elsewhere. They're Souls in the United States, ruining the roof with the dents and stuff like that. Irrelevant, but I always think it's funny, you know, like JYPE of all companies kind of, you know, has a little sponsor Kia to, you know, funds this comeback or something, whatever it is. I don't specifically know. But I guess maybe too is just, you know, Korea has, you know, laws and all that stuff where if, you know, brands names are displayed, then they kind of need to, you know, disclose that and all that stuff. I don't specifically know what's up with that, but it's a little weird to me, to be honest. But that's that. I'm very interested because I haven't, like, you know, like I do with most of these videos that I record, like I haven't done any sort of like, especially with this group, I haven't done any sort of like research into who they are, what they're doing, why they're doing it, or where they came from or anything like that. So I personally, after listening to this song and watching this music video, I'm very interested in like what their ages are, because, you know, like I said at the beginning of this music video, or at the beginning of the very video in general, like I was kind of, you know, sort of interested on whether or not this was going to be, you know, a girl group debut that is going to be different and unique from, I think, the majority of girl group debuts. And this one was definitely different, because what I would say is, you know, what the majority of debuts from girl groups end up being is something more on the, you know, cute and innocent side. They don't necessarily go for a look and a sound that is as mature as this. So, you know, I think that the age of the members, to a certain extent, definitely in the past, maybe that's changing in K-pop, I'm not entirely sure, but the age of the members at the time of debut definitely does play a factor in the kind of concept I think that companies are comfortable kind of putting out there, and I think that fans are, you know, don't feel too weirded out about, because I know that there's probably some fans out there that are like, you know, if they're, you know, 15, 16 doing something that's like, even like this, then it might be like, wow, it's a little too sexual and provocative for such young girls, or even guys too, to a certain extent. So I don't specifically know their ages. Very curious. I'll definitely look into that and find out what's up with that, because I have a sneaky suspicion that they're a little bit older than what you would normally get a debut from when it comes to girl groups. But even if they weren't, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. But that's enough talking about this after the music video. After the fact, I got actually quite a, you know, some, at the moment, some stuff that actually is pretty deep, I think, to talk about coming up in the review portion of this. But I'm gonna do what I do, listen to this song some more. I'm gonna give you guys the question of the video. It'd be cool if you would answer it, and of course come share your thoughts on this song and whatever, and listen to what I've got to say in the next segment. So I'll be back in just a couple of seconds with the rest of my review on this song. Getting into the review. If you guys watched my reaction to the debut of Twice, you'll know that I really didn't like that song. I thought that that was actually a pretty unpolished release from that. And I say that, I bring that up because compared to the debut of Twice, I really, really love the actual debut song. I love this song from Itzy. It's the, I mean, compared to the two girl groups that JYPE has got active at the moment, I am a big time fan of this group from the very beginning, whereas for me, Twice is a group that I even now kind of need to really, for most of their songs, kind of take some time to warm up to. Like, I really like Twice, I enjoy them, but their music isn't really a, you know, a smash hit from the first time that I listened to their songs. And we're going to talk about a little bit of the reason why I kind of think that that is the case. And it has to kind of come down to, of course, their just concept and general style. And I think that the difference in, you know, target audience of Itzy compared to Twice, and, you know, that's a good thing. And I think that that kind of comes down to, well, I guess the way that JYPE operates and kind of comes up with their music and promotes their groups and does all that kind of stuff, which we'll talk about a little bit well, to kind of finish off this segment. But first, because I don't want to like push the actual discussion about the song itself all the way to the end of this video because it's going to end up being probably 15 or so minutes long. We're going to talk about it right now. And I just want to say first off that I don't necessarily have any specific points in the song aside from the chorus that I really love, but I want to kind of highlight a couple of things that I really like about it that are just sort of general sorts of, points that I want to discuss and that I think are, really cool and I really, really like and kind of make me enjoy this song a lot. And then of course we'll get into the, deeper, I guess, more philosophical stuff. So first off, as this song as a whole, I think has a super sort of like a bubbly and bouncy feel to it, which I love. I like it. It feels really, really good. Of course, I think that the chorus is kind of like the epitome, the pinnacle of that whole feel for the entire song. As with just about every other, pop song that you'll listen to, the chorus is like the main point of the song. It's the thing that the rest of the song is there for. And the chorus is really, really good. They definitely kind of have, that feel, like I said, the bubbly and bouncy feel through the verses and like their little dance break and the other breakdowns and interludes and all that other sort of stuff. But all of that kind of comes together perfectly as the chorus just like in the song sort of just like pops into existence, which I really like it. It's really good. They kind of combines the sound and the feel of that with a visual element and some dance moves and stuff like that, which I think combine really well to create a really good, audio visual connection that's super strong that I really like. I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for an audio and a visual that work together like seamlessly and perfectly. And that's something that just creates a moment that is way more memorable, I think, and has a much more longer lasting impact in people's minds, and like kind of makes a song a little bit more, gives a song legs, increases the longevity of the song compared to just having a super catchy melody, because people will probably continue to sing your super catchy melody for however long it is, but I think that that's much more easily replaced than people who really can like kind of dance along with the song, kind of get into it in that regard too. So it's one thing where people are able to like easily sing along, but it's another thing where people are also, not only are they able to easily sing along, but they can also, physically get involved with the song as well. And I think that this song does a really good job with that. I mean, the dance moves are pretty basic, and like even if you don't have, I shouldn't say really pretty basic, but at the very least, even if you cannot imitate them exactly, you can kind of sort of get involved in a similar way. And I think that that's really good. Not to mention, the visual element of that is something that is, visually striking and visually pleasing as well. So I really like that. The other thing, as far as the general sort of flow and the vibe of the song, is again kind of correlating or kind of going with the whole bubbly, bouncy sort of feel to it, is that this song is the sort of, at least to a certain small extent, I think that the sort of vibe and the feel and the flow of the song kind of changes at a very rapid pace from like moment to moment. You're feeling something a little bit different. And that's, of course, during the verses and all that. The choruses are pretty much the same from like verse or chorus to chorus, but the verses kind of change slightly. But the reason for that is not necessarily because the music track is really changing drastically from, like the first half of the verse to the second half of the verse. Like the music track, I think, is mostly the same, but what they're really changing more than anything else, not the music, it's really just the vocal style. And they do a really good job of alternating between, vocals and singing, whatever that is more, rap oriented versus, and then go into vocals that are more, singing oriented and that kind of stuff, or melody oriented, or however you want to call that. And I think that sort of distinction and that dynamic is something that is really good. I mean, they kind of flip between, rapping to singing to rapping to singing to rapping to singing like a bunch of times throughout each of the verses. And that's kind of a little bit more than what you get in a lot of other songs. Like I know that, K-pop groups have like, a million members, not literally, just figuratively speaking, and they kind of have to go through all these different members and give them parts. So they get like a couple of lines in the verse, like one member sings a couple of lines and another member has a couple of lines after that, and then another member after that, and another member after that, and then the chorus happens, So you go through like 4 members per verse, but the vocal styles and the way that they're kind of presenting their vocals in a lot of comebacks are sort of just the same. They don't change as much. They're not as dynamic as they are in this song, where they kind of alternate like that. which is good. That is something that is different. That is something that kind of creates a little bit of an interesting, you know, dynamic to the song that I really like. And it's actually a, you know, I was gonna say it's subtle, but not necessarily subtle, but it definitely is something that is way more subtle to create the feeling of, you know, a constantly evolving and changing song without actually having to really drastically alter the music track in any sort of way. So they kind of give that continuity with the music track being something relatively constant from start to finish, but they are giving, you know, the change and the evolution and all of the, you know, ways that the song is changing, but it's coming from the vocals instead, which is something that is not necessarily the most obvious thing. It doesn't, or the most jarring either, because I think vocals are a lot easier to kind of connect and flow nicely than, you know, different sounding, you know, elements of music. It's my own personal opinion. I'm not like a professional or anything. Like, I don't play any instruments. I haven't played any instruments for very long at all. So I'm not like musically trained or anything like that. But that's just my opinion as someone who listens to music. So that's what I like about the song. Getting really, really briefly into some of the more philosophical things about just this group in general and their concept and their style and like this debut and all of that kind of stuff. So at the end of my whole, you know, first impression thing, I was like, I don't know how old this group is, and I was kind of wondering if that kind of played a role in their debut concept. And I can say that with every single member in this group except for the youngest, who is 15 or 16 years old, depending on how you want to look at her age, whether it's like Korean age or not. Everyone else is 18, 19, right around 2000. I think there's one member who was born in 2001. And then, of course, the youngest was born in 2003, or the very end of 2003. Everyone else, 2000, or the 2000 line, or whatever you want to call those people, because, you know, normally it's like, you know, the last 2 digits of the year, but it's 00, but they're the 2000 line. And that's 19 years old, where they're gonna be 20, like this year, next year, however you want to, you know, kind of measure that. That's kind of old it's relatively old for a debut of a group. And I think that is actually significant and plays a really big role in the actual concept and the look and the sound of this group. Because going back to what I said, I think that there's just, you know, an age thing that people can't get past, which I think is appropriate, to be honest, where, you know, girls that are 15, 16, 17 years old, like a lot of other groups that debut, they don't do anything that looks like this, or, you know, they're not pulling out an image or a wardrobe that is like this. And so of course the music has to match with their images, and so then they don't do music that feels like this, because it's not age appropriate. And so having a group where, you know, 90% or, you know, all but one member of this group are, you know, 18 years or older, you know, they're definitely, you know, above whatever the age cutoff is for, you know, mature content, you know, whatever however they would rate that. So that plays a really big part in that, I definitely think, and that's cool. Maybe, and I think it's actually a good thing too, definitely a good thing that there's a group that is debuting when they're not in the middle of their teen years, because, you know, I don't know, it's significant, because I can't particularly name a group that has debuted with the majority of members being as old as these members are. And I personally really do enjoy that. That's something that I like, and that of course kind of plays into how this is a debut that I can relate to and kind of connect with on a much deeper level and much more, you know, enjoyable level than Twice. So I think that this group is going to be releasing music from now until they disband that I'm going to listen to first, or, you know, my first listen is going to be something that I actually enjoy more compared to Twice. You know, and I'm just saying Twice because they're the other JYPE group, and I really, really kind of, you know, people know how I feel about Twice if you watch my videos a lot. And then, you know, speaking of Twice too, I really do think that I kind of get the vibe, maybe I'm completely wrong about this, but I do get the vibe, the feel that this group, their image and their sound and all of that stuff, just like their whole entire concept for this debut, I guess you can say, it really, to me, kind of feels, and it feels a little bit like they're kind of in the middle ground between being Blackpink or being Twice. You know, like, I think they've got a little bit of, you know, the image and the attitude and stuff like that Blackpink has got, but they've also got a little bit of the, you know, cheerful brightness that Twice brings to their music and stuff like that. And I think that's a really good combination too. Having a girl group that kind of, I think, falls in that middle ground between you know, what Blackpink does and what Twice does is different. Like I'm not particularly I can't off the top of my head name very many groups that like kind of fall into that area in K-pop. I'm sure that there's plenty, but you know, it just they've got something that I think is, you know, unique and different, but I don't think that it's like particularly obviously and over the top unique and different, and that's something that's cool too. So I think that those last 2 points are something that are, you know, interesting, something that's interesting to discuss. I think I'm gonna make one of these kind of the question of the video, so you probably have already seen it, but that's really all that I've got to say about this song. I really like it, I love it. Itzy is a fantastic group. I am very much looking forward to listening to the rest of their debut music. I think I'm gonna love it, and that's really all that I've got. So I wanna know what you guys think about this song. I told you guys what I thought, so share your thoughts down below, whether you like this song or not, because that's what this community is all about. If you wanna join the community, subscribe. I got more videos like this coming up in the future. Maybe it's gonna be the distant future, but hopefully it's the near future. But I'm not gonna make any promises. So that's it for this video, guys. As always, I'm gonna thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.